guys? Welcome back to ManCave Collectibles. Coming at you today with something I am super excited about. Got a cardboard box here, but this is not just any cardboard box. The contents inside this box is on a scale from 1 to 10. I think it's a 10. You guys will have to drop in the comments below what you guys think of what I'm about to reveal inside this box. Bam! There we go, guys. That's what's in our cardboard box. This is what I'm so excited about. This is a custom Venom figure based on the Marvel vs. Capcom design. I'll throw up a side-by-side here so you guys can kind of take a look at what was used as the inspiration for this figure. I have always been a big fan of kind of that 90s style Venom. Now, Marvel vs. Capcom used that kind of same color scheme as what we saw in the comic books when you think back at like the Lethal Protector Venom and those kind of blues, the blues and dark blues, a little bit of a black shading even in a lot of images of him in the comic books during that time. That is probably my all-time favorite Venom. Now, obviously, in today's world, we see a much darker Venom with more of just a black symbiote, where back then, it really come across as more of a blue. That's really what I consider my Venom. Now, I still like Venom to this day. In fact, this Venom Build-A-Figure was one of my favorite all-time figures that Marvel Legends had ever put out. And I actually have that version of the deluxe figure that we're going to compare with this here shortly. But let's get into some details on this figure. So if you guys are not familiar with a channel that goes by the name Poundz978, he is a customizer on YouTube, a really talented customizer. I've been a fan of his since even long before I started my own YouTube channel. When he was much smaller, I think when I first started watching Poundz978, he was probably well under even 10,000 subscribers at that time, but now he's garnered really a much larger following, and it's very deserving for what he's doing over there. He really kind of focuses on doing customs really centered around Spider-Man characters. I've always wanted to have him do a custom for me, but just didn't really know where to start or how to begin to kind of start those talks or even have it done. I didn't know price ranges. I really didn't know anything about the custom world. And here recently, I picked up a custom head here by Paul's Customs over on Instagram, and I'll show you what this looks like on the Venom figure as well here when we do some comparisons. But I thought this was amazing. Well, that kind of gave me the custom fever, I guess you could say. I just went ahead and reached out to Poundz978 on Instagram and asked him if this is something he would be interested in doing, and sure enough, he was. So we kind of talked about it, got the details, shipped him the figure, and man, he was quick. When I tell you quick, this thing turned around in about a week and a half's time. I was truly amazed at how fast he got on this thing. Now, in looking at the figure itself, we don't have any additional sculpt work. That was something we talked about. I really was just wanting to have a custom paint job on this guy, and no real sculpt work needed. I really liked the figure. Really all I wanted to do was just change the color of him. So that's what we did. The amazing thing about what Poundz was able to do is all the shading, and I'm not real sure how well all the shading is going to show up here on camera with the white background, but there are many in fact blue tones and blue hues in this paint job. I don't really know how he did it. Again, it's just, it takes so much talent, and he's such a talented guy when it comes to this kind of stuff. It's just kind of one of those things where you send him your figure and you just kind of say, man, do what you do. And that's really what I did. I did not put a lot of stipulations on it. You just don't do that with a guy that has the talent level that he has. You just kind of let them do their thing. They're the artist. I'm not. If I was an artist, I'd do it myself. So you just kind of give them free reign to do what they want to do. And he had a picture. He had the picture like we looked at earlier, and he just made it happen. But yeah, you can just look down through here, and all the veins just really stand out. So much better here on this blue than it does on the black, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. But just looking at, I mean, look how clean these lines are. This is really, Hasbro could really take a page out of some of these customizers' playbooks when it comes to like paint work. They just, they don't give us the type of shading that we get with these guys. Looking at the face here, he did go ahead, it appears from what I can tell, he went ahead and he lightened up the teeth some, kind of whitened them a little bit. I think he lightened up the red here in the tongue, which looks really nice. Poundz has actually done a review video where he kind of goes a little more in depth on how he did this. So check out his channel if you're not already familiar with it. Go over and check out his review of this figure, and you can get some more detail on how it was done. But I think he maybe considered doing kind of the green slime, the slobber, you know, here on the tongue. And kind of looking back, it would have been cool to have him do that, but I don't know that it was necessary. Had he brought it up and been like, hey man, I think this would look good, I'd have been cool with it. But again, you know, I just kind of left it up to him to make this thing, you know, into a reality for me. And he did exactly what I wanted and what I really dreamed of. It's better than what I really thought it would even appear as though. But you can see these dark colors, kind of the much darker blues than in some of these areas. You got a lot of light blues here. But right across the back here, you can see kind of where there's a darker, it's not black, it's a very, very dark blue that he's kind of shaded some of these in. These lines are so crisp and so clean here across the Spider logo. Same thing goes for the front up here. I mean, you can just see there's nothing in here like what we see a lot of times from Hasbro. As far as the articulation, nothing is affected. So I'm able to move these arms all I want to, move the legs all I want to. There's no paint rub. I'm not going to have any issue down the line with paint peeling or chipping here on this guy. You can see here in the arm, that is fully functional and it's not going to chip here because of the way Hasbro did the articulation. This doesn't really even rub when you go to flex that arm. So you're not going to have any type, really, you lost no range of motion, you lost no articulation in doing the custom, and you don't have to be scared of it or worry, you know, by articulating this arm, am I going to, you know, scrape or rub the paint. Poundz, I've watched his stuff for a long time now, and he always takes very special care to the figures to make sure that when he does paint them, it doesn't ruin the articulation on that. I think I've even heard him in certain instances where he's even sanded down some portions of a figure in areas to make sure that the rub is eliminated. So that way you don't have to worry about, you know, paint rub in the future. Let's go ahead and bring in a comparison. So a quick comparison here with a couple Spider-Man figures. We got the Mafex Spider-Man, which I think is probably one of the best Spider-Man figures ever made. I don't love him so much just standing in a vanilla pose, but from an articulation and overall design standpoint, he is by far one of my favorites. And then we have just the retro carded Spider-Man here. So just so you guys can kind of see how that color matchup would be, I think these two look phenomenal together right here. Now this is the second version that they did of this Spider-Man where it kind of has that comic book cell shaded type design to it, but I think that looks really good. I think that really converts very closely to the Marvel vs. Capcom Spider-Man. Not identical. It's a little closer to me than this one. So I'll probably have these two posed together until I can find something that's a little closer to that Spider-Man Marvel vs. Capcom look. So here's what we started with here on the right. This is the regular deluxe Venom. You can see that it kind of has really a dark, almost black. It may even be a navy, super dark navy blue with some lighter blue hints throughout. You can see that the veins are much more prominent on the light blue than they are on the dark, which I love. I think, you know, veins and, you know, tongue and all of that just goes along with Venom. That's what makes Venom. So that's kind of your comparison there with what we started with versus kind of what we ended with here. Again, just a phenomenal paint job. You can kind of see here where those darks, you know, it's a little darker down here, a little darker here around the insides of the hands. You know, he just added just some dark shading, and man, it just looks unbelievably close to that Marvel vs. Capcom design that they had in the video game. So to show off another custom here, this one is really focused on my Marvel vs. Capcom Venom, but I figure since I've got you here, we'll take a look at another custom that I've done with my Venom Deluxe figure. I had a customizer pop up on my Instagram feed by the name of Paul's Customs, and he was advertising these Venom custom heads already painted. That's something I will never attempt to do. I don't want to paint customs. I don't want to try customs. I'm just not talented in that area, so I let the professionals do it and I purchase it when I like it. So he had these available on Instagram for a short period of time. He did not have a whole lot of them, but this is what he had. And when I seen this, being that Venom is probably one of my top at least 3 all-time characters in the Marvel Universe, I had to have it. This is a completely custom head that he painted, and you can just see, man, all the detail in the teeth, the tongue. This thing is absolutely insane. Just kind of give you a second here to kind of check that out. I love this custom head sculpt. Now, the only thing, I kind of wish this set back just a little farther into kind of that neck area, because, you know, from the side you can kind of see a little bit more of the neck than I like, and really a little bit more of the neck than you can originally see. So you can see kind of with this figure how you know, the neck is not quite as visible as it is here with this figure. So you do lose a little bit of that look, but you know, when it's posed on your shelf, when you have him posed kind of up like that, or really any other way than directly from the side, it just looks amazing. And this guy, Paul's Customs, very, very talented customizer. He does a fantastic job. He's actually got a Beast head that I have purchased from him as well for the new Marvel Legends. I think the Marvel Legend, the newest Beast figure, I think that head really struggles, to be honest with you. And he advertised for a new custom head, fully painted, matching up with the Marvel Legend color. So when that comes in, we'll take a look at that as well. It is a ginormous improvement over what Hasbro gave us for that head sculpt. So these are my two custom Venom figures. I want you guys to tell me down in the comments below what you think. If you're on Instagram, check out Poundz978. I think it is I am Poundz978 on Instagram, as well as Paul's Customs on Instagram. Go give those guys a follow. Check out what they have on their pages. Even if purchasing custom figures or having commissions done for figures is not really your thing, it's just always cool to see what these guys are coming up with. It is just a lot of fun. It's a lot of entertainment, and they're so talented. They certainly deserve our attention in the collector world. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button for me down below. It helps get this video out there for other people to be able to see, and people need to see these. These are amazing. These are really not something you see every day. You're not going to come across this type of a Venom hardly ever, to be honest with you. It's really just kind of one of a kind. I'm very proud of it. I'm very thankful for the job that Poundz did for me on this custom. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're on our way to 6,000 subs. We will have a giveaway at that time. So we'd love to have you as part of the ManCave Collectible team. And then as always, again, leave those comments down below on what you guys think of either one of these customs. And if you have any custom figures, let me know about them. Or any additional customizers that I need to be aware of over on Instagram or in the YouTube realm. I would greatly appreciate it. I love the custom world, and I think I'm loving it more and more as I get my hand on additional pieces. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Until next time.